Good morning everybody, welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the weekend in 14th of June 2025. Violence in America and Northern Ireland too. Both to do with race but of a different hue. And Trump and Newsom exchange different points of view. Greta and her crew cause a to-do as her cargo can't get through because of an unwelcome rescue. Rachel's spending review involves spending anew. Israel attacks Iran out of the blue. Vishwash has no clue. Can't believe it's true that he lived through the plane crash in Ahmedabad at 20 to 2. One of the music's chosen few dies at 82. In January, wildfires had California burning. At the weekend, trouble in the state was returning. The Los Angeles streets were smoking and hot, but arson or natural disaster this was not. The heat didn't come from wind-enhanced fire, but from a groundswell of human fury and ire. Trump's stance on immigration is a political wedge, and many Americans have been pushed to the edge. As Trump doubles down on his election-winning pledge, his base, of course, still think he's absolutely ledge. Ever since a terrorist incident in Boulder on 3rd of June, the USA has smouldered, law enforcement going after the undocumented with a new fervour, obsessive, almost demented. Raids in downtown LA brought things to a head, so Trump's iron fist made sure it didn't spread. He sent in the National Guard to put it to bed, and then the Marines. For him this was a code red. Protests started largely calmly, but as always, outside agitators sparked flames into a blaze. Trump's treatment of California Governor Gavin Newsom was abusive, brutal, bordering on gruesome. But Newsom, standing firm, refused to be coward, accused Trump of a brazen abuse of power. Maybe the president had been as subtle as a brick, but for now his methods seem to have done the trick. Northern Ireland, meanwhile, also suffered street riots. 2 migrants arrested Monday sparked the disquiet. Started in Ballymena, but soon flames were fanned and violent protests sprung up across the land. Missiles, including petrol bombs, thrown at the police, who resorted to water cannon to restore the peace. Since the ceasefire ended 3 months ago, Israel and Hamas have kept trading blow for blow. October the 7th sparked this 20-month shit show. Israel will keep it going until their hostages are let go. But recent methods have caused Western backing to slide, being increasingly accused of genocide. On Monday, do-gooders in a boat tried to get a stash of aid into Gaza to make Greta feel better. Activist Ms. Thornburg, of course, would treat with derision such a cynical description of her mercy mission. But the Israeli authorities were not best pleased, their time being wasted to have the selfie boat seized. While Greta's fans would applaud her act of humanity, critics would call it virtue signalling insanity, a mere headline-seeking project of vanity that could have caused a seafaring calamity. And soon Greta and her pals had been flown to Tel Aviv. Brave or naive, they had probably underachieved. From Tel Aviv they went back from where they came. Who knows how they viewed their 15 minutes of fame. For the anxious and superstitious, forevermore, 11A will be the aircraft seat they'll rush for. The number of the seat apparently positioned in the sweet spot for those of a nervous disposition. That was Vishwash Kumar Ramesh's lucky pick. for his flight from Ahmedabad to Gatwick. 241 on board died. Vishwash didn't. Understandably, his recall of the crash is intermittent. He emerged from the wreckage in his blood-stained shirt, a little shaken up, but barely hurt. The Boeing Dreamliner hadn't climbed very high when, seconds after takeoff, it fell from the sky. Into the city outskirts, the aeroplane descended. On the ground, at least 30 more lives were ended. On Friday, very early in the morning, Iranians woke to a new reality dawning. Israeli missiles hit their nuclear facilities and took out key figures in Iran's military. Iran chucked back some missiles and drones, but most foundered on Israel's famed Iron Dome. Was Friday the 13th unlucky for just Iran, or has the whole world just jumped out of the frying pan? These major events meant Labour's spending review found itself largely buried under bad news. After departmental horse trading never ending, Rachel found the headroom for lots of new spending. Experts were still deciding if they were glad or mad when AI 171 crashed into Ahmedabad. On Monday, Frederick Forsyth passed away, a prolific thriller writer of his day, an RAF pilot who became a journalist, then wrote iconic novels that make quite a list. Day of the Jackal, Odessa File, Dogs of War, The Fourth Protocol, and so many more. Now the news that, at 86 years of age, his life's final full stop's been put on his last page. The 60s produced good vibrations, excitations, but on Wednesday there were many sad sensations. But Brian Wilson's death also brought laudation, veneration, adulation, and much admiration. A life that had brought to many generations inspiration, exhilaration, elation, exaltation, musical innovations that created reverberations, lyrical creations bringing joy to all occasions, created the Beach Boys for our delectation. In movies, on TV, and every radio station, filling the airwaves of so many nations. Now, the final commemoration of appreciation. You were a tortured, gentle genius, like very few, now taken by your demons at 82. God only knows what we'll be without you.